We could do Demon Hunter or Hunter, I don't really care. I've actually done more Hunter than Demon Hunter lately. TJ wants the Hunter. Demon Hunter's boredom. I don't even remember what it's like to get offered a Death Knight. Aggie Biscuit's good. Whoa. Hey, pill guy. Well, I hope that you can spell your cat's name correctly, because you're 0 for 2 on your other 3 loves. I guess your spelling is fine, it's just the stylization. I don't have a space in there. I think you'd take a marked shot here. I'm sad because I really like Shock Spitter, if you can find weapons. If you can find like 2 to 3 weapons and some like synergies for the Shock Spitter, something like Dire Frenzy or Devouring Swarm that puts them back in your hand, you could just burn like 25 points of health away in some cases. But it's far from certain that we'll find weapons, so let's play it safe and take the strong, flexible Discover. I like Guard a lot. Flexible, it's a 1-drop. Merchant's really good too. Merchant would seem to fit the Hunter archetype really well. I like Stockade's Guard better as a card, personally. But the correct thing is probably Merchant here. It really, if you get a little bit of token stuff going, you can build up some nice stats. Howard. Rebel. What did I do? Oh, I didn't take the splitter? Been loving the Mastiffs. They've been a main component of a lot of my Hunter decks. Aim Shot Skitterer. Oh, okay, you're talking about Pill Guy. Skitterer, I was forced to take. And, it's okay. I don't know, I guess I'd rather have Aim Shot. Or burst damage. Like a silence here. Gulker's fine. Rush. Thank you. We did get a candle shot, folks. So now we can start taking weapon synergies. The fact that we got a candle shot means we won't find any weapon synergies. Someday they'll do that, huh, Pill Guy? They'll put those two together. And the world will weep. Go Tracker. This is tough. I tend to like collecting as many Mastiffs as I can. Suspect has the best win rate. It's weird, I do not like Mastiff at all. I think you need to embrace the Mastiff if you want to do well with Hunter right now. It's not necessarily true of all metas, but the stuff that gives Hunter an edge over other classes is stuff that can, like, copy value or buff beasts. And Mastiff is excellent with both of those things. I like the card in general. But it feels pretty necessary in this meta to get ahead. That being said, we already have one, and this is a very strong 4-drop. So I'm definitely torn. Yeah, this is from a game called Tunic. Oh yeah, Big Nuts Jim. We've been trying to beat Astalors and Deathwings today. We haven't quite been able to do it. We're gonna take the second Mastiff. Yeah, we like Conjured Arrow. I'm not yet seeing the combos take form that I need to. But soon it will become clear to us what our win condition is, right? We have 2 undead, 3 undead cards. Translocation. Armor's Dealer has some very limited application in our deck. I don't love it. I think we can make use of Translocation Instructor though. Interesting. So we have Arcane. And that's it. So it's gonna have to be Merchant here. Any elementals? This is not what I need to be seeing. Not remotely. I suppose we take Skid Row, but I don't like this. And Necronos? That's the one you're talking about? Hooah! Yeah, Brewmaster brings those back quite nicely. Something like a Corpse Razor can do it as well. Might see it too similarly to Cheap Shot. It's definitely a lot better than that because some of the synergies and being able to develop. Yeah, leaving extra wolves on the board is nice. You can also kill untargetable things. And like I said earlier, if you can get like a Dire Frenzy or something on one, it's really nice. I would think maybe we would want Etten over Forge Fiend. Just because it comes out 1 turn sooner. That could make all the difference. And like stat-wise, they're really not that different. Win rate likes the Forge Fiend, but I don't know. Something tells me in an aggressive Hunter deck, you really don't. Oh man, Conjured Arrow or Stubborn Suspect. Difficult decisions. I think we like the Arrow again, more card draw. Oh my god, why? So we're definitely not properly aggressive. But neither was our last good Hunter deck. Okay, you gotta, looks like you gotta take the Rancher. It's so far beyond win rate wise. That's good. I mean, please let me find some synergies. 2 candle shots is great, but I think Raikou is probably the best here. This is another thing that works really well with the Mastiffs, though. I don't like the Piper, but it can be useful for that reason. But this is a favorite neutral card of mine. Nice. Very, very, very nice. We don't really need the card draw anymore. So with two of these Sentinels, we can definitely, like, swing games in the middle. Wing Blast. We could take a Wing Blast. We don't really need 2s or 3s at this juncture. We actually do kind of need 2s now that I look. Need is a strong word. We don't have proper 2 drops. Seven mana Smuggler's Crate. What is this, 1970 Hearthstone? I feel that I'm leaning toward the Raider now that I think about it a little bit. Wing Blast is cool, but it's not burn, it doesn't go face. You can go Candle Shot into a 3/3 Bloodsail Raider. Well, we got the weapons, but we didn't got the synergies. Classic. The amount of times they don't light up is so frustrating. I recently had like maybe one deck where they lined up nicely. But I always get like 3 weapons and no Keen Eye, no Shock Splitter, or vice versa. Still take the weapon though. Well, the weapons are still great whether you have the synergies or not. Rock and Troll. Well, none of these, please. I'll play it as a 1-drop, I guess. Beats Peasant, at least. If you have multiple Mastiffs in your deck, you can even use them on turn 2 or turn 4 if you have to, although you'd prefer not to. I guess we could make that hit. Feels kind of bad though. Yeah, so, I mean, you could actually Mark Shot here, or you could Mastiff. I especially don't think we need to be precious about Mastiff, because like I said, we didn't get synergies for it. You know, I worked through that in my head, all black. The idea of playing the 2-drop and then giving it more health. I had to work through it to realize it didn't make any sense. Play something with... Yeah, we can use Mark Shot next turn. They play something with 4 or 5 health. Maybe harder for the enemy to clear your 5/5 in that case. So technically it does something. That is indeed 4 health. So I guess I'll take the Discover. Or we could buff an aim shot. You know, that actually is not bad. I think this is like a kind of a nice aggressive play. And then we could do triple dog next turn, or we could do Mark Shot with a hero power. Howdy, Armel. Boy, howdy. How are you keeping yourself? Yeah, that'll be a good Mark Shot target. And then Etten next turn. Boy, Candle Shot has done work, huh? Aimed Shot for more burst. Or... Rats. Let me think. So this is gonna be 4 damage. That means they take 8, so they go down to 14. They go down to 14. We have a 4/4 on board. 4. And then 5, 6, 7. It's 11. This is very tricky. I think Rats is definitely safer. We might just run out of stuff if we go for the hyper-aggressive play there. There's danger of them healing or whatever. There's a lot of healing and armor and stuff in the meta. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, alright. I'm nervous about hard removal, but we play the Etten here. I would be shocked if they don't. Like, how does a Warlock not have hard removal at this point? I would be shocked. Oh, well, that's actually much weaker than I expected. Oh, wow. Give me 2 big rats. This works out so much better than I could have asked for. Although I will say aim shot would have gotten us very close here. Aha. We do have a silence in deck, so feasibly you could play this, hoping to draw that silence. But me, I'm a simple man. Go get him, boys. Play 5 Mastiffs and a big rat. It's honestly not that... Not worth taking the chance just to try to draw a silence and throwing this away. Although, I mean, technically we could have just done this and played one less dog. But you get two fewer damage out of hand over time. Does that matter? I don't know. I mean, at that point you could play Tracker and hope to find either the poison or the silence. Hellhound? Holy moly. Somebody's taunt happy. Okay, well let me try this. Translocation. I could fuck with a translocation.
Return from whence you came.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I like hero powering here, and we get another big rat out. Such a good feeling to get the big rats in your hand. It only costs 1 mana, you put such a big board presence down. Makes you feel powerful. I like that card, the 6 mana rats card. Because it is strong, but it is situational as well as a downside, and it requires some thoughtful, intentional setup. Oh, now you show up. Oh, now you do. Well, we're grateful to have you. Double Sentinel at this point, or... Let me just see. If we hero power here, they'll have 6 health. So... yeah, I'll take the Discover as a, as a kind of a backup. We'll be able to kill them next turn. Probably. And I put the Death Rattle on here in case Silence comes down on here. Or something like the thing we did, Translocation Instructor. I think people are scared of that card. I don't see people running it very often. Alright, still lethal. Barely, but still lethal. How many taunt this guy have? A lot. A lot. Bum 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 ba-dum bum bum bum. away. All of you go except for the Necrolite. You can stay. Paladin, huh? If we have to coin Huntress into Raikou, I'll accept that. In a worst case scenario, we'll play Sentinel. Now this makes everything so much nicer, doesn't it? Give me that Hawk Strider. So what can they do to clear? Not Blessing of Kings, not the 3 cost buff. They can Equality? I can't think of much. I can't think of much. Wrong line. They can't even clear with what they have now. You know, what if we did this to taunt? Ah, god, that might be the play. Oh, I hate playing the Sentinel early, but having a buffed taunt in the way of this is... We need to really think about this, because if we do this, we're dead to 2 damage, which includes Consec. If we do this, they could buff this with the +3 and Divine Shield and kill our Sentinel. And we would have a 1-1 left. And they would have 4 health. Conjured Arrow, Necrolite kill. You know what? If you want to consecrate this board, I welcome you to. That's just how I'm built. You have to think, like, we really... A top priority for us is this not dying. But maybe they have to sacrifice a lot to make that happen. Wow, that's nothing. I'm at the juncture where I'm totally fine if they clear this at this juncture. How many times can I say juncture? Conjuncture, juncture, what's your functure? We've got plenty out of it. The point that I have a hard time imagining them coming back. There's always ways, but... Like, for example, if they had, like, a, Light Fang or whatever that legendary is, that could be a way. Still playing as many bodies as we can. Gitterer would be fine here, but I'm maximizing bodies. Just like Freddy and Jason, who came before me, I'm maximizing bodies. Just like Michael. Bum, 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 bum. Y'all got a favorite slasher movie franchise? Fucking Scream, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Chucky. Y'all have a favorite? So Jason is Friday the 13th, right? I've never watched any Friday the 13th movies. But Jason's your favorite? 10, 16, 18. Yeah, I'll just discover in hero power, that's fine. Don't really need more stuff on the board. Turn 9, Skitterer, Dire Frenzy. I'll just take a deadly shot. The deadliest shot. Almost attacked with that. I think we don't want to. I've gotten better at controlling myself. I made that mistake a couple times early on. If you really stretch the definitions, I'd have to say Jack Torrance from The Shining, but he really doesn't count, because that's not a slasher movie, even though he behaves similarly. I don't know who my favorite slasher is. Maybe Chucky. I haven't watched a lot of those movies, though, just a couple. You wouldn't mind getting the damage in? Didn't really feel necessary to me. Slasher movie with 1 kill. I guess he does only get... I mean... Yeah, he only gets 1 kill in, huh? Spoiler alert, I guess. If you kill yourself, does it count? Oh, that's a good hand. Wow. Da, 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 da. Does John Wick count as a slasher movie? Almost. Almost, but not really. Remember, chat, categories exist so that you may discover what breaks the category. I wonder... I'm playing this here, but what I wonder is... do we ever trade the 5/5 in just to maximum protect this? Let's think for a second. They have many ways that they can clear our 2/5, unless we trade, in which case the only way I can think of is coin Death Strike. Can't think of any other ways to deal 5 damage. I think it's important. I think it's important to protect it. And I think they're highly likely to clear it if you leave the 2/2 up. Highly likely. I lie. Now they could hero power and play a 2 or 1 cost 3 damage and clear it. But we will have gotten 2 buffs off already. So we're fine with that. Now they really have nothing, huh? They really have nothing. What was I even afraid of? Okay, so this would be a 2/4. So we can actually... Maybe I should have put this on something else. 3-1. 3-1. That goes there. That goes in. Yeah, I want to protect the Skitterer here. So let me do this. And this? At some point we have to go phase. And I'm a bit concerned that we haven't done that yet. But I still don't think they have a way to clear this, unless they drew one. That's still not a way. Wow. Draw me a minion, please? Yeah, that's exactly what I asked for. We're not going fast enough. I also don't know if I should have made those trades like that, because they can hero power this down now. You're like one of the worst draws in my deck there. What are you about? Woo! Dodged it! Are you kidding me? Well, I assume we have to wait for next turn for that, right? Would you so annoyingly... 3, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15... We could put them to 7. But I think what I actually need to do is this. Boy, this would be a hell of a shock splitter game. The weapon is essentially do nothing, but... You know, we're laying groundwork for the future that may or may not happen. That sounds familiar, right? That's just life, baby. That's just life. Alright, it's finally gone. And we're sad. We didn't make good enough use of it, even though it stuck around for like 10 turns. Okay, you... And we send it out. We might still win, though, if they don't have healing. It's looking kind of good. Hit with the launcher instead. You might be right, because this has 4 whole charges. I was trying to maximize the damage that our weapons would deal over time. But it may be that the time frame is so small that the extra 1/1 and the extra point of damage is just better. I think it's debatable, but ultimately you might be right. Foreigner's not good enough, you need something else. You need a noble man. Death Knight Killer. Death Knight Killer. We're what, 3-0? That's a nice place to take a quick break. I'll see you again very shortly. Needs one again? Come back to this one recently. Ugh. It's like trauma, it always just cycles back. Alanjanos. Corpo makes so many archetypes work better. I'd say it's maybe an all-time great 2-drop. Admittedly, the 0-1 does make it so much worse, though. Okay, candle shot helps. But for now, we tracker. None of these are really looking that special. I guess we could go merchant and play it with a veteran next turn. Or we could go messenger and have a 6 damage something next turn. I go with merchant. You could always trade it away later if it stops to making sense. But if they ignore our boards, which they might, you get a +3, so that's like a 5/6. That's not bad. They'd probably trade our 2/2 though. It's insane with Swarm. Yeah, insane with Swarm and Druids. Insane with all the very many undead. Like when an undead dies, something happens synergies, especially in Death Knight. You can silence it and do stuff with that. So this is now gonna be a 4/5. I guess that's worth it. I guess that's worth it. Piranha Launcher. Early Piranha Launcher could be nice. It represents Burn in Hunter. In Shaman, it activates the triple 3/2 cards. A very good way to activate that. The patch is way too big to not have patched. Those 2 gigs. Yeah, it took a little bit to download there. I was super curious what was going on. Well, well, well. If it isn't the one attack buff coming very much in handy, I will happily make that kill. Question is... what else do we do? Probably Piranha Launcher. Piranha Launcher. So we go like this, we go like this, and we go like this. We're pretty happy. Yeah, I was looking a little bit on Reddit to see if anyone said anything about the patch. I didn't find anything. If anyone wants to go hunting for information about it. Possibly a fool's errand, but... it's probably just a lot of bug fixes, right? draw. It's the most important thing to kill, so we'll just kill it immediately. What the hell? Oh, man. Well... it's a good hand, it's just bad for this turn. It sounds like effort. Yeah, well then don't do it! That's why I'm not doing it. What I'm wondering is if this is worth just using to get... I'm just gonna do this. What a wet noodle of a turn. It's turns like these where the opponent does a play so soft that you can make like a big swing. They're big swing turns. Unless you have nothing to do. Marked shot, and then you can clear with weapon and hit, or with aim shot. It's either that or you Etten, which is fine. It's susceptible to removal. Wow. Stunwell's a bit of a risky pick here. But we're in a control mode, so it kind of makes sense. Deadly Shot is pretty good. And that gets us 4 cards. I don't want to do it yet. My face. Okay. So they're a little bit choked out for relevant plays. Here's what we can do, chat. Here's what we can do. You're gonna like this. You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it. I actually need to think about something else here. Mana stuff. So, 1 less for each other card in your hand. So if you play this, this becomes 4. You play this, you've used 7 mana, which is exactly fine. You do this, you do this, and this is important. Yeah, Crispy knows. Crispy sees it. Crispy sees it. This time I'll swing. You have to kill the 1/1 first because otherwise the 1/1 might get rushed by accident. Moonlit Guidance is pretty nasty with Mana Thirst cards. Oh yeah, I love Moonlit Guidance. But then again, my druids have all been bad, so I wouldn't take my advice. So what did we get here? Asphyxiate, awesome. Soul of the Forest, fine. Curse of Weakness, weak. Rat Trap, weak. Scales, weak. So pretty bad. Pretty bad. But they're not playing much of interest, so... maybe we focus on a good Soul of the Forest turn, which means we have 5 mana to play as many minions as we can. And looks like that number would be 1 unless we're willing to Mastiff. So maybe we don't. Maybe we don't Soul. I don't know. Could play this. Play this. They might play 3 cards. Yeah, so let me do these, and let me also kill that panda thing. Puts us to 17. I don't think we need to be worried about our health total, which is why I do that, but... Not freezing. They have enough cards in their hand that I think Rat Trap might actually work. One. Two. 3. Well, this was a hell of a devolve though, so good for you. I guess I could have done Rat Trap with this, huh? I didn't think about that. We want 12 face. Good Soul of the Forest. Very good. And let's see, 6, 8, 10 is the most they can do with Battle Master. So big whip. Uh-oh. They did it! What the fuck? Well, I guess this game will take a half hour longer than I wanted it to. So they do have Battle Master, by the way. I guess if I was gonna do this, I should have done it before I traded the thing in. But then the damage could have hit, so yeah. Weapon on lifesteal was better. No, because then you might not be able to kill the other minion. Damage comes out of the death rattle and could kill you too. Let me show you what I like this turn. Let me show you what I like. I like this a lot. Really good use of Curse of Weakness. But we're almost out of stuff. So we have the board, but we need them to stop having amazing answers. if we had been paying better attention, we would know exactly what's in their hand, right? So we know they have a Battle Master. We know they have that 8-drop. The rest was all a blur. Really? So here's our question, chat. It's an interesting question. Do you poison the 8/8? Or do you simply asphyxiate the 8/8 because it's a sign that they're so desperate to remove the poison that they're willing to play an 8/8? I think they have absolutely nothing to handle with this poison. I kinda like asphyxiate and push damage. Maybe even this goes face. Probably not quite this turn, maybe next turn. Like, I think our read, given how bad their play was, is that they were desperate to get rid of this poison. So let's keep protecting it. Alright, there's the Berserker. If we buff this and buff it again, hit, could kill the poison though. If we buff... Maybe we just run the poison in. I mean, we can put this on. We could also trade this, because Translocation and Librarian and Vizier are all really good. Fuck it. Faster, please? Faster? Jesus. Faster! God damn it. I picked the slowest animations in the world. It's my fault, ultimately, but I don't know why it took 4 full seconds to trade that into our deck. There aren't many good hits in the deck. I actually ended up trading because there are a lot of good hits. Translocation and Librarian are phenomenal hits. That's 2 cards that completely nullify this thing. Vizier, also a phenomenal hit. Those are probably the only 3 phenomenal hits, but even if you miss those and get a Corporal, or get one of the Brightcools, you're pretty content. Wow, and they don't even get the healing. Or 8, 13... 15, 18, 21, 23. Thank God. game. Oh. Stay strong, Blobby. Stay strong. Sometimes you just get kecked by animations, it happens. You can still stay strong. There's a little bit of lag in Moniaki, but I haven't noticed it being enough to negatively affect me. When I play on the Asia server, it's very obvious that the lag is happening, and I do have to change my playstyle. But on EU, it's extremely reasonable. It's just with that particular tradable, the animation took so long because it made sure to show us beyond the shadow of a doubt that it had successfully buffed our... Or sorry, rushed our minion, you know? What do I seek? That's a great question. I seek that which hides. I seek... grand victory. I seek Dose of Coffee and all of his wonderful friends. What do you seek, chat? Do you seek a stream to keep the arena love flowing? Because if that's what you seek, then... you're in luck, my friends. You have come to the right damn place. Welcome, everybody! Hey! Blobby here. Playing some Hearthstone Arena. We're playing the 10th best class, which we've been doing pretty well with, actually. I've gotten some 7s and 8s with Hunter. Nothing more than that, though. Hi, Kayani, Bubblegum, Severity, Wicked Zealot, Lord Danzo, and of course, Dose of Coffee. Thank you for the raid. I hope that you have a phenomenal rest of your Thursday or whatever day it is. And I'm very grateful to you for bringing so many wonderful folks over here. Go Vizier here. And we like the Conjured Arrow among these. Very good spell, very strong. Buy my broken truck. Like, I don't know how to drive, so you're not gonna have a good time with that request. I also don't like trucks or broken things. We were talking about schedules earlier. Schedules can be important. Do you recommend Arena Helper? If you want more data to play around with, sure. Personally, I use Hearthstone Deck Tracker. And I don't use any helpers for my draft anymore, but I used to when I was learning, and sometimes it felt like they were helping. So it really comes down to personal taste and what you're trying to accomplish with your drafts. We like this and this. My only question is, what do we put the 2-2 rush on? It's an interesting question. Descend, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the fun dungeon. Y'all found yourselves in the fun dungeon. Whether you like it or not. There's no leaving the fun dungeon. Except for if you press X on the top right of your screen. Two questions I ask myself. One is, are we trading one of these? The other is, where does the death rattle go? I could see reasons for either. I'm gonna stick it on here and I will trade. Are you interested in a truck that doesn't go in reverse? It's very poetic. It reminds me of it reminds me of a Simpsons quote, as so many things do. A Simpsons monologue. Where Homer's talking about the Keanu Reeves movie Speed. He says, I saw this in a movie where a bus had to maintain a certain speed, and if the bus dropped below that speed, the speed got too low, it would explode. I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down. The funny thing about this is our opponent kind of screwed us over by having too bad of a turn. Everything we have is pretty reactive. I guess what we could do is use the Conjured Arrow and not use the weapon charge. Feels a bit weird, man. We could also triple Mastiff. Pretty vulnerable to AoE. But that's true regardless. Maybe someone will live in it. You should make like a nature haven. Okay, well we got another Conjured Arrow, so we didn't really lose anything. Not gonna use that. Thought about it. But I'm not going to. This could end up being a long game, and I want to make sure we're adequately prepared for that. Locked out a main account again. Main account of what, Marcos? You have to give 2 weeks notice to get out of the fun dungeon. Hey, how come is it that that you have to give 2 weeks notice to quit a job, but they don't have to give 2 weeks notice to fire you? How come is it for that? How come why is that for that? We could play Furious first and then pop this? That might be okay. Let's see if they even have a secret in their deck. They don't? Oh. Has capitalism. True, true. Something that I find really funny, like a Schadenfreude moment that I enjoy when I enjoy, you know, Schadenfreude is enjoying other people's pain. When I hear stories about workers who are like, alright, I quit, and the employers are like, what do you mean you quit? You have to give us 2 weeks notice. And they're like, yeah, but that's like a nicety. That's something that people do because they respect each other. And you've disrespected me my entire employment here, so no. The idea that bosses have that work culture is somehow like valuable family style. It's very patriarchal, I guess. Like, I'm the dad and you all have to love me or else. Very insecure as well. Let's discover. Yes, I would love another one of these. I would eat that up. Yum, yum, yum. I'll start using the charges since we now have 3 weapons. We're trying to amp up our aggression. We found out that it's custom in country. We opened an office in to give 2 months notice. Our new hires take forever to come on board. Had to come back to say this blows my mind. Notice both ways is part of the contract in everywhere I've heard of in the EU. Yeah, labor laws in EU are like way ahead of labor laws in the US. Labor laws in the US are really apocalyptic, really dystopian. And it changes state to state too, so things like whether you can record your employers abusing you and use it as evidence. That changes state to state. So where you are in the country is also a huge factor for how much, you know, justice you can receive. Are we mastiffing? Are we giving them a mastiffy? Yeah, we could do that. I think we'll use this Divine Shield, and the rest will be dogs. I partially liked that weapon swing, because now we can attach a candle shot. Not waste any time with that. One more dog or a hero power? I'll go with one more dog. Yeah, employees here have comparably very few protections. And there are way more ways to fire employees here for things like social media presence or disrespecting bosses or whatever that there are in EU. Bobby, I just started watching season 1 of Succession. Have you seen it? We have been watching through Succession very slowly for a long time now, and we are about to finish season 2, I think. So no spoilers for season 3, and I won't spoil anything for you. But my answer is yes, I adore Succession. I think that's a phenomenal show. Let me kill one with this. One of my favorites, I'd say. We can silence the other and smork. How scared are we, though? We might be a little bit scared. We might be a little bit scared. Might be just a little bit scared. So let's hold on to silence. And instead put a chunky boy out. Take whatever trades we have to here. Not throwing the silence away. I think we might need it in the coming turns. I just think if you leave those 3 relatively large bodies up and you only have 1 taunt in the way, if they remove that and have some burn, you might be... You're gonna be ahead of me very soon, Robopop. Because Succession is our television show for the whole house, and there's 5 people who live here, so our schedules don't often align. Blank, yeah! Welcome to the fun dungeon. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, that's, I think, what our silence was for. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's what our silence was for. Because not only is it a big taunt, but we also get rid of 8 armor, which is huge. I think every turn we're hero powering. And I'm okay with sending this into here because as long as they're at an even number, we don't need 1 damage. This can happen. We don't need to do this. It's unnecessary to waste the charge. I don't think we'll need 4 more charges, but I also don't think we need to equip this now. Good Christ. Am I in California? No, I am in Philadelphia. Yeah, evictions, yeah. Tenant rights are another thing that's really bad in the States. So what could we find if we trade? I'm getting discouraged here. We can't even target these. I think we need to find something else. We could draw first. Translocation, Skitterer. Trade first? No. Okay, maybe we can work with that. I wish I had more time, it's gonna be difficult to think through. Buff here, trade there. 2, 4. Buff here. This goes here. This goes here, this goes here. This happens. This happens. This happens. And this happens. One off! They can beat us from here. You're connected to Philly somehow, Spinky? You can't use the 2-cost spell on face, unfortunately. Conjured Arrow is to a minion specifically. Otherwise, I would have loved to use it for burn. Is Philly a tough city? Like, what are my chances of being held up and robbed? That's okay, Toaster. We all make mistakes. I make them every day, even though I've been playing this game for years, and I'm one of the best players in the world. I'm constantly fucking things up, so... It's just the human condition. I don't know how to... I usually don't know how to answer questions like that, Marcos, because... And I'm not saying any of this about you specifically, but when the question of crime in cities comes up, it's hard for me to separate that question from the, like, systemic racist fear-mongering that happens on the news, where, like, the news is just pumping, like, all the scariest urban crime stories that they can find into the suburbs to make the white people scared, you know? And so this thing of, like, oh, is Philly a bad, scary city? It can be a perfectly reasonable question if you're wanting to, like, learn about different areas in the country and where you can move to and feel comfortable and all that. But it's also a question that comes along with a lot of racial baggage, right? Yeah, Chicago's infamous for that. Atlanta, Detroit. What are your streaming hours? I need someone after Redbeard into Dose. Well, Dose and I often start around the same time, but on some days when I can wake up early, I stream around then. Yeah, Baltimore's another good example. And there's this other thing in the United States where, like, right-wing rural people who pretend like they're the toughest, most masculine motherfuckers in the world will drive, like, 25 miles out of their way to avoid driving through a city because they're so scared of cities. They're like, my brother's cousin heard that somebody's car got stolen and the car chased them down. The person stole the car and chased them down and ran over them 5 times with it. Times are changing. Make America great again. The Confederacy will rise once more, etc., etc. What rural people are these? I have a picture right here, actually, Crispy. Hang on a sec. Not a fan of Redbeard. He was trashing on a viewer for saying he conceded too early. Immediately left his stream after that. Yeah, but I'm on Redbeard's side. The customer is not always right, and when you're a streamer, you have to be fielding a lot of very similar ideas and conversations on a daily basis. And I think somebody in the audience complaining about when a streamer decides to concede or not is unwarranted. So I'm on Redbeard's side. He's also, like, the sweetest fucking guy on Twitch, so... You know, when you stream as many hours as he does, you will have moments where you are terse or short with people. But that necessary mood swing doesn't make you any less of a sweetheart, you know? And Redbeard in particular, among the bigger streamers I watch, Redbeard in particular has I'm always impressed by his ability to respond to just about everybody in chat with patience and kindness. Then again, you can't do it all the time. You reach your limits, but... Just... And all that being said, if you didn't like something Redbeard did and don't really feel like watching him anymore, that's fine. You just change the channel. That's the beauty of Twitch. There's many of us. There's dozens of us. Well, maybe not dozens of arena streamers, but... Does this stream also have an adversarial Redbeard policy? You know, like Dreads' stream? No, I don't think so. I don't really have a rival, I don't think. I wanna get a rival though, that sounds fun. I was in Dreads' stream one day, and Redbeard was just roasting him for like 45 minutes straight in the chat. It was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. Like, God bless Dreads for putting up with this all these years. So they got my Hawkstrider, sadly. I was wondering, actually, if we should have played this to protect it. Maybe the answer is yes, but we didn't, so let's move on with our lives. This goes here, and this goes out here, and this goes face. Hey, Colst, nice to see you. I don't remember if I gave Dose a shout-out or if somebody else did, but let me shout out Dose now that he's gone and he can't hear us. That makes it especially altruistic if you do something nice for somebody and they're not around. That's why it's never altruistic to do something because God wants you to do it, because he's always around. Think about it. It's always selfish. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take care of the poor and needy because I want to, and then you kind of wink up at heaven. So we have to do this horrible turn because I don't want to waste any of the nice value in our hand. Hopefully we draw something reasonable, but if not, we can use these. I need a rival, though. I've had rival chatters. Like, I've had people who decided I was their enemy. But I don't have a rival streamer. Well. Skitterer feels pretty bad here. Let me draw, I think. Something playable, please. I could mess with the Raikou here. I could do that. Lobby versus Neogreg. Neogreg and I could be good rivals, maybe. I just like everyone too much, though. But Redbeard and Dreads really do like each other, so... Rival which you could evolve into a nemesis. I love seeing Astalor every game. Video Blobby versus Radio Blobby. Ooh. Neogreg is too pure. It's true, but I think the community's done a pretty good job corrupting him. I always try to corrupt my pure friends. I guess we Etten here. You could also... Well, that's interesting. 3-4-2. I'm inclined to use this while we have a good hit. Even though there's other ways we could remove this. So let me just Etten. Then we can kill both the totems this way. You could choose Soda Poppin' or Amaranth as a rival and have a daily intent. But is it like if you're out having a picnic in a park this Sen, and an ant comes up to your blanket and decides that you are the ant's rival, is that really a rivalry? The ant may feel like it's a rivalry, and the ant may interpret all of your actions as against it. But really, you're not even aware of the ant. You couldn't have a rivalry with it if you were aware of it, because you can't even, you know, shit-talk each other. It's an ant. I'm saying I am the ant to Amaranth's picnicker. We're not in the same echelon of Twitch streamers. I don't know who Soda Poppin' is. I could go bump, bump, shoot, or biscuit, bump, bump, biscuit, and trader face. I'll go face. It could still bite you and it might sting a little. Yeah, but when an ant bites me, I'm not like... Avast, ye villain! Put up your tentacles! Ants don't have tentacles. Antennae! Put up your antennae for some fisticuffs! I'm like, oh, I flick it off. I'm like, oh, damn. Save file v blobby. It's been suggested. So if we poison... Is there a way to get, like, lethal? It's 18 damage we have here. Conjured arrow. Poison. We have 18 damage. We have 19 damage. We have 21 damage. That's exact. I believe that is exact. Skitterer does okay for us. Skitterer does okay. Whew! Good counting. Make a better foil than a rival? Well, rivals are foils too. It's a variety streamer, gotcha. He's like a storytelling streamer like Limmy. Thank you for the... I need to have some good math to make up for that nonsense math conversation we had earlier. Anyway, Marcos, all of that being said, Philadelphia is a totally fine place to live. There are different parts of the city that are more blighted than others. I think, again, when you're talking about things like inner city crime, usually people from the outside of that dynamic are like, oh, inner city crime is a thing because people who live in cities are more violent or something like that. It's not really the case. You have to understand that it always comes from how cities have been set up intentionally and accidentally over the course of many, many decades. So, for example, if you came to Philadelphia and wandered into North Philly, especially as, like, somebody who looks like me, you might have a very bad time. But it's not because people who live in North Philly are somehow inherently more violent. It would be really racist to think that, because it's mostly black folks who live in North Philly. It's because it's an area of the city that was completely abandoned and has not gotten any infrastructural support in about 50 years, because that's when it was decided that it's not profitable to maintain the industry that was the lifeblood of that area. So all the like rail lines that went in and out of the area got shut down. I guess we'll make this trade too. All the like street cleaning stopped happening, all the factories shut down and were not maintained, all the housing went to crap. And when you have an abandoned land, crime is gonna happen because there's no opportunity structure for anyone living there. It's blight. It's like Fallout, you know? But there are a lot of really good parts of Philadelphia as well. It's an interesting city in that it's very walkable, which I like, because, you know, I don't drive. Mark Shot would be fine here. I think we can maybe Tracker? And then Vizier next turn? I want to get a hero power in. Rancher. I'll do a Rancher with the Vizier next turn. Is that worth it? It's hard to say. Am I killing this? Or am I going face with 5? Very hard to say. Face with 5 seems good, but I don't like that they can value trade this. Alright, well, we'll sit in the consequences of our actions. Philly's a very walkable city, and one interesting thing about Philadelphia, or potentially scary if you don't know the city, is that you can walk maybe 2 or 3 blocks and find yourself in a totally different vibe of the city. Like, you're over here with all the yuppies and white people and brunch havers, and you walk 2 blocks and all of a sudden there's like decrepit buildings, and you walk 2 more blocks and all of a sudden it's the art scene, and you walk 2 more blocks, you know? It's like nested areas in an interesting way. Maybe we can still get something playable. We got something playable whether we want it or not. Arcane Shot just to kill the parrot is totally acceptable here. There has to be... I mean, we could take Swarm and hold it. How worth it is it to kill the parrot? Thing is, Swarm... Swarm kills the parrot too. The difference is that it puts this in our hands. Would we rather have this in our hands? I think yeah. Interesting distinction between those choices. Two, 2, and 3. That could be the way to go. That makes a 5-6, right? It's a little bit of a waste of resources, but it's a high tempo play, and I like it for that reason, at least. Just walking around the monuments and then walked over to Drexel and went 2 blocks and suddenly it's a really bad part of West Philly. Yeah, but I think most parts of West Philly are less bad than people think they are. Like, if you walked 2 blocks away from Drexel and felt like you were in a bad area, then I definitely live in a bad area and nobody really bothers me around here. I've lived in Philly for many years. 7, I guess. And I've been in the area for even longer. And I think we throw you away. Because we want something to go with Hawkstrider that's better than Librarian, ideally. You know what? That works. That works for me. Missing some hero powers, but that's okay. And I'll trade you and the rest goes face. Yeah, so I've been here for 7 years. I got assaulted 1 time. And it wasn't even a robbery, it was somebody with mental health issues. Who seemed to think I was an undercover cop. So I can't really blame that person. And I've been all around the damn city, every single part of it. Because I used to work for Parks and Recreation, and they would send me to rec centers everywhere. And I definitely went to some, like, scary parts of the city. But I always try to acknowledge when my fear is filtered through my whiteness. Which to a certain extent is every time. Okay, this is really good, because we could do this and get a nice clean hero power in there. And it's even funny reflecting back on my time here, because when I first got a place on my own, it was in West Philly. Pretty deep in West Philly. And I felt really scared living in the area. Even though I lived on a nice little street. Sounds like something an undercover cop would say. Exactly! There's no way for me to convince that guy that I wasn't. Like, all I could do is run. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We could take Deadly for later. Not gonna be Rat Trap, probably. Or we could take Ricochet Shot. Deadly for later. Yeah, and so I lived at that house for like half a year, and it made me nervous sometimes, like being in this area. Coming from an entire life living as a white dude in the suburbs where there's almost exclusively white people around me, and then suddenly being the minority. Suddenly encountering, like, houseless people for the first time, people coming up to you on the street asking for money. All that is totally terrifying to a pretty sheltered suburban white kid. But here I am 7 years later, and I've moved back, right back to the same area, essentially. Where I lived before. And it couldn't be more different in terms of my feelings about it. And, like, this is a great place to live. It's, like, it's a real nice neighborhood, good people around. Interesting stuff going on. I don't really get bothered that much. Are we really 7-0 with a Hunter again? Maybe we can break our 8-win record here. That is true of some parts of Philadelphia coast, that there's just not people walking around. And sometimes it's because nobody wants to be there, but it's just a very different vibe from New York in that sense. 'Cause I remember I took a trip to New York. I don't like New York. I took a trip to New York, and you could throw everything away. And I came back to Philadelphia, and I was walking around what was, like, a really nice area of the city, but I, like, looked all the way down the street, and I turned around and looked all the way behind me, and there was nobody around. It was the middle of the day, and I was like, this wouldn't be possible in New York City. Everyone is everywhere all over that place. So yeah, the last place in Philadelphia I lived before this, it was in a kind of a nowhere area that never felt dangerous to me, but it certainly was not highly populated. There were some apartments and some, like, old industrial spaces, and Not much else. Let's throw this away. I think we want flexible options in our hand. Yeah, whatever. So it was a kind of a desolate area. But it only really felt scary at night when you could be isolated or whatever. So yeah, this is like a lot of factors that go into the conversation. Worst thing that happened to me is robbed at gunpoint. A fight broke out and I ended up losing my shoes when all was said and done. Losing your shoes really sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. It doesn't suck as much as being robbed at gunpoint, but... Yeah, I had a friend and theater mentor who got shot during a stick-up a few years back. He's an older guy, and he fought the assailant. So, like, they physically fought, and he ended up getting shot in the leg, which... I guess that'll happen. If you trade here, you could do this, but I don't really want to trade here. You could do a funny thing where you, like... Vrykul, coin Vrykul. But now I think I'm just gonna go with the 3-4 instead. Stop saying I have cop vibes! That's not true. I don't even beat my wife! I can't be a cop. Just chasing. Oh, man. I just watched Will Smith's last movie, it was terrible. I find this conversation refreshing. Some people don't like to see the US as a violent place, but its cities rank as high as African and Latin American cities. Plus, on top of the violence, the US is a police state. The police state has not helped the situation. Yeah. Increased cop presence leads to increased crime pretty much every time. Even though the common sense reasoning that people generally present is the opposite of that. I think I am... I think I'm willing to take a hit on one of these to make it less likely that this gets cleared. I'm willing to do that. Could have full cleared. How? This Vrykul summons a 2/2, so it wouldn't have been able to... I guess I could have double traded. No, is that true? No, because I just summoned that. Ah, the zombie doesn't because it's played minions, not summoned minions. So this is an interesting card. It's a little bit alarming to see because they're gonna have taunt after taunt after taunt, but on the other hand, they do have to spend their health, so... Ideally, we would try to pressure them as much as possible here. So let's do it like this. There were other ways we could have done this as well. But I wanted to see if this spell would be useful. Doggy biscuit. Doggy biscuit? 7 minus... I kind of wanted to take the doggy biscuit, but I feel like it has to be Sunwell. I like the doggy biscuit because we get 2 more damage in right now and protect this from trade. But I don't like it because it's very little value, and we might need a lot of refill against a Death Knight, and they're basically at full health, so... Yeah, it's a really important distinction whether effects happen on playing a minion or summoning a minion. And it can be difficult to track that sort of thing as a newer player. But the more you learn, the more you like force yourself to pay attention to it. Why are you big now? Oh, I see. Well... I think we, like... We could Mastiff and be happy with it. It's Sunwell aim shot. It's Mastiff here. Sunwell is the kind of card that, you really don't mind not playing it for as long as you can avoid it. You're doing okay. But yeah, you know, I think a lot of people are under the impression that crime is something that individuals just decide to do or not do on an individual basis, but that is a complete misunderstanding of crime from a sociological perspective. Interesting. So, if we Doggy Biscuit... Wait a minute. Doggy Biscuit trades 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 off lethal. Sunwell? We 3, 6, 8. And it's too complicated. I will devolve the shit out of this board, though. Ah! Not thrilled about the healing there. But we're close. I think Devolve was worth it because of all the huge stat buffs they had, and it got that taunt out of the way. I think it was worth it. Although the taunt wouldn't have been very useful anymore. Yes! We owned that Death Knight. I didn't realize this deck was so good. Or maybe it's just the pilot. Damn, we owned that Death Knight. That's 7-0 Death Knight. Have I cracked the formula, chat? It's hard to realize how big the US is from the outside. It's true. Like, my parents live in Pittsburgh. I live in Philadelphia. Those are two cities, both in the same state, Pennsylvania. And it takes me about 5 hours drive to get to them. Which is less than it takes to get across some of the countries that you all live in. Okay, you need to go, you need to go. I will maybe ambitiously try to keep you around. Get her? What's the formula, please? Watch and you shall receive. My secret formula. I can't tell you the formula because then you might compete with me on the leaderboard that doesn't exist anymore. See what I'm saying? You're making me insecure? I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable in my making -1 insecurity. So next turn we can kill this. Or whatever they play next. Am I willing to put a 2-2 out just to be a 2-2? I think I might have to be willing to do that. It's the first time I've tempoed this card, chat. Feels bad. Dire Straits here. So this is the most wins I've managed to get with a Hunter, and I've been very proud to get 7 and 8 win Hunters, but maybe we can surpass that. Knock on wood. There's a place in Texas you could drive 12 hours in any direction and still be in Texas. Well, that's what I've heard about Texas. They like it when big things are big in the big. They're a big. Texas is a big. Texas is big. No discover on that. I'm pretty happy with the poison here. It's not really any other recourse. It's weird, the priest is the aggressor and we're the one with all the removal as a hunter. Texas and Cali could be their own nation. Well, Cali's gonna be its own island soon when it breaks off from the mainland. Let me draw, I think? Too many weapons. Too many weapons. I want to make a pretty large boy. How's that sound? 4 or 5. Putting it all on Bloodsail Raider. Congrats on making the US large. Take pride. Oh, but you won't. Okay, I'm done. Lol, never mind. Steve, do you have 1,000 monkeys typing in your Twitch chat box? Struggling to think of another explanation. Hi, Faceless. Faceless, you ever hear of this magical place called America? America with both the world's most expensive military and the world's 3rd most expensive military. The 3rd most being the American police force. Great country. What's the expression? America is a 3rd world country in a Gucci belt. I feel that. I think I hold this just because we don't know for sure if we're gonna play a weapon next turn. And I don't know that the one face is gonna do much for us. Somewhere, I don't know. You live a blessed life. Cali is not breaking off anytime before Florida. I know Florida looks more like a Wang that you could just snap off. But isn't Cali on some crazy fault line that's gonna burst at some point? Translocation instructor. I mean, we could toss the egg back. That's such a risky play, though, because, like, what are the odds that what we pull is gonna be better or worse than the egg? I would honestly give it about 50-50. Maybe it's slightly more likely that it's good for us, but I don't think it's worth the gamble. So let's just do this. Quick shot is desirable for hand refill. Aim shot is desirable for smork. You could even do Dire Frenzy because you're gonna have piranhas on the board, but I don't think I like that line. I'm gonna do aim shot. Equipping Candle Shot may even be a misplay, because maybe we want the stronger weapon, but it's not even really that much stronger, so... What are you going to Florida for? See family or something? I heard it's got a messed up prison system and Ohio is a place of utmost horror. Yeah, angry... Now this I will translocate. I will translocate the hell out of this. Angry's been bringing up different places where we could possibly move someday, and, huh. Well, that makes me sad. They brought up Ohio. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you, Ohio? Why? Ohio? But yeah, our prison system is, like, abysmal. It's for profit, so we stuff prisons with as many people as we possibly can, and then they all catch COVID and die, and we're like, eh, they're prisoners. We just make more suburban white people scared about inner city crime, and then they're like, yay, prison systems, woohoo! Yeah, during early COVID, there were prisoners, like, making signs to hang out of windows saying, save us, we're dying in here. That sure sounds like a corrective system to me. Okay, hunting Mastiff this turn. Mastiff has served us very well this run. This priest is giving me a hard time. I don't appreciate it. I'm not a fan of theirs. I mean, there are a lot of worse states than Ohio. It's true that there are a lot of worse states. Friendly undead, huh? We start with this. See what we discover. Again? Wow. What do you think, next turn, maybe? I'll hold the weapon charge because it's... We're not playing this next turn, we're doing Sunwell. Can someone tell me what is the patch about? Can't find patch notes. You know, we were wondering that exact same thing earlier this stream. Ding dong. I would love to know if anyone out there has any clue what the hell is going on with the patch. Because I have no idea. That's annoying, what they just did. Fast Wisdom, Blazing Power. Swarm, Provoke. Choose a friendly minion. Choose a friendly minion, enemy minions attack it. I don't know what to do. You think I know what to do? Best I got. Weakens it a little bit at least. Any ideas about how the new leaderboards might change? Well, we don't know if they're changing them or just removing them, or if they're bringing them back in the same way as before. We have no idea. Something a lot of people have talked about is live leaderboards. The idea of a leaderboard that updates in real time, like BG, like pretty much all their other game modes, you know. I suppose I wouldn't hate that. That could be interesting. I'd be willing to try it out. We Hellfire this turn, I think. And I have to assume we have... Yeah, we have Mastiffs and stuff, right? So definitely have enough to fill that. In fact, we could probably... I don't want to do that. I'll do the Hellfire play here. It's just a nice answer to the... In fact, we could just clear this if we want to. You know what? Screw it. We have all the value here. I will absolutely choose to play around Holy Nova, because why not? They're on their last legs. This deck is incredible at outlasting opponents. Louisiana... I've been to New Orleans with Angry Bee, my partner. That was a really cool trip. Louisiana's a very interesting place. So what's the least important thing to give them? I guess Sinister Strike, right? 2, 4, 5, and then 8. And I don't think we have lethal. We could look for it. Pretty much everything we're doing at this point is, gilding the lily, so to speak. In other words, we're overachieving right now, just making sure that the opponent will have no way possible to come back. Alright, I got a lot of chat to catch up on, so let me speed read here. It's always Sunwell in Philadelphia. Oh, amazing show. There's a lot of really rough states to hang out in, for sure. Ohio at least has some cities where stuff is going on, right? Sneeds. Always Sneeds. I love the Sufjan, I love the Sufjan State albums, but he only made 2 of them, and you have to wonder what would have happened if he pretended to try to, like, keep making more. Like, how far would he have gotten before getting really depressed? Okay, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 8, 2. Okay. Just gotta make triple sure sometimes, chat. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for bearing with me. We beat our Hunter record in the meta! Yeah! Can you believe it? I'm an O Hunter! What the hell's going on? It's all topsy-turvy. London said there were improvements to the leaderboard, so it's not dying. Well, that's encouraging, and I didn't know that, Coles, but it's encouraging that at least they're qualifying them as improvements. All I knew was that something was happening, which is scary, but if they actually think that they're, like, improving it, that's good. I'm willing to try things. Yeah, we've been streaming for 5 hours. This is only our 2nd run. Runs go long this meta. It's a meta of longevity. Big thing is we don't know if improvements means something live, something more logical, or just that they'll post it more on time. You're right. Or if they decide to go back to a monthly and like actually assign somebody to it so it's kept up with, that could feasibly count as an improvement, even though it's just a return to the standard form. It's weird, I tend to throw things like Doggy Biscuit, but keep things like Raikou, even though they both require a board presence to pop. This is the patch. Client patch rolling out, live on desktop, will be on mobile storefronts once they release it. It's mostly a behind-the-scenes patch, but there are a few bug fixes in it too. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Achievements. Yeah, it's like a bunch of bug stuff. Stuff that I don't really feel like reading much of. Ooze? Good thing we didn't have a weapon equipped. Wing Blast is okay. The problem with Freezing Trap against Death Knight is that they have their hero power, so that's a huge Freezing Trap counter. You could take Tracking because it's been proven that our deck is actually pretty good, apparently. Or we stick with Wing Blast. I think next turn, as far as what's in our hand, looks kind of rough. I might take Tracking to smooth things over. So we're essentially kicking the can of this discover down the line and just discovering something else. One hour a month spent on it instead of 0. Right. It's an improvement. What if it was just 30 or something to qualify for leaderboard and then it was total average? So not 30 straight runs, but total... That would be annoying to me, but maybe there's some... Maybe there would be some reason for it. Because here's the thing, Rossum, and here's why I think that doesn't work. Because then the person or people who get 30 really good runs at the start of the meta have to stop playing the game for a month and a half, you know? That would be fun. Like, I'm locked out of my account because I have a good average, you know? Feels bad. Guess we're tracking. As predicted, we don't have a play. I suppose I will take the Stitch Tracker just to have something to play now, because I don't really care for any of those either. So we've kicked the can of our Discover down the line again. More happy to take one of these. We could silence. Or Piranha. I think those are actually both pretty good. Let's go Piranha Launcher. We'll have a pretty good Hawk Strider in the near future, I believe. Piranha Launcher is nice because the 1-1 is actually kind of relevant. It's gonna be tough to beat this opponent, I feel. We're at 9-0 in their Death Knight, and they've obviously got the goods. If you got a strong 30, you wouldn't want to play anymore. Yeah, same point, right? Three, 4, 5, and then 1. So this becomes a 3-2, and then it becomes a 4-2. You could go that, and then that into there. Not a huge fan. I might just skit into that. We could also triple Mastiff into it. Triple Mastiff. Or Skitterer. This might be wrong, but I'm gonna triple Mastiff here because Skitterer can technically take care of something larger. The other weird thing about it is we're taking away the possibility of this plus Mastiff, but I have another Mastiff in deck. And we also have other small minions that we could use with the Hawk Strider. Do you think it would be cool if the game tracked your overall average and your best 30 for you? It would be nice to not have to maintain an Excel document, although there is a sort of a creature comfort in maintaining an Excel document for me. Makes me a little nostalgic. Some things to worry about. Thing number 1, our health total. What if we did 2 damage and 3 damage into here? That's 5 mana. We also draw 2 cards, and we clean up with that. I'm trying to draw stuff that goes with this. Is my hope. So 3/3 and 1 next turn. Okay. It's interesting, they have the amount of cards in hand where they could either be running out or only just beginning as far as Death Knight goes. And it's hard to see which it's gonna be. I guess I'm hero powering. For lack of anything else to do. Ah, here she is, the other shoe. So one of these we could silence if we felt like that mattered. I guess you could Skitterer? Oh, you can't do it and silence though. Silence, hit, hit. Wait, hit, hit, silence. I don't like it. I think I'm just gonna put a wall up. I have 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They're not really close enough to lethal yet, but if they don't have an answer to this taunt... Santa's gotta have his cookies, man. Well, this is bad. So, good thing we have Silent Skitterer, right? Maybe it's not so bad after all. Pretty good, actually. 3, 6, 11, 12, 13. Good to kill you guys. Face with the rest. This is why I really like saving powerful swing resources as long as I can reasonably do so without losing a lot of tempo. Because you never know what nonsense is gonna come your way. And it's nice to be prepared. I wasn't prepared! 22 months! Thank you, Tomo, thank you. Appreciate that support. Okay, I'll be quiet. That's fine, nobody wanted to hear me talk anyway. Yeah, so as far as dealing with malignant horrors, Marcos is asking good questions, which is why not damage the one that replicates. You do know which one replicates because, as was said, it is about play order. So both you and your opponent know which one is going to copy, if they're paying attention. The problem, there's basically a problem with every anti-horror strategy, and the problem with the idea of weakening the one that will replicate is that the opponent can then just trade it off so that the strong one will be the one that replicates, because once they trade it off, the reborn will be lower in the priority, so the full health one will replicate anyway. So it usually doesn't work very well. But sometimes it is the answer to pump a little bit of damage into the one that you think is going to replicate. Sometimes that works. Okay, so they healed out of range, but we still got good prospects. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess the big question I have is whether we feel like we need to Etten or not. Really not sure. Let's do it this way. I'm loath to not hero power, but I'll do so anyway, because this is a very powerful board now. Yeah, right, all black, exactly. That's the problem. The fundamental problem of the Malignant Horror. Okay, so they once again seem to be frustratingly, surviving. 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. However, I'm trying to see which of these we do first. From our deck, the only thing that gets us there, I guess Mastiff might? 10, 14, 15, 16. Mastiff doesn't quite. Translocation does. 4, 5, 6. Translocation. So what about out of here? Discover a spell. What could do it for us? Let's try it for translocation. Did not get it. Candle Shot making you immune is pretty underrated as far as one of the reasons the card is good. Because it means you can take chip trades with the weapon all the way through the late game in a way you can't with other weapons. It's great. Do damage to the broom. We could have done that too, but I would rather hedge our bets in case we miss what we're looking for and just make sure that we get more damage on the taunt. I'm gonna be off tomorrow, by the way. I haven't taken a day off in a minute. I'm gonna take tomorrow off, spend some time with the house. My loved ones. Call home, do some chores, all that good stuff. Maybe do some writing. Dark Guru gifted a sub to ZVB. Thanks, Dark Guru. Yeah, we beat the Dino Death Knight, yes! What is happening, chat? Sub support from the audience and 10-0 Hunter. Played a DK with triple red that healed for like 70 over the course of our game. Yeah, they'll do that. They'll do that. Kolben meter. I recognize this name. This is somebody in the community, right? Really happy to see ZVB get a sub there. Old friend of the channel. Marked shot keep. Marked shot keep. Marked shot keep. What early game are we looking for that really makes a difference? Corporal does. Hawkstrider does. We would rather find those things. I'll throw the marked shot away. kind of writing do you like to do? I do not mind you asking, actually. A few different kinds of writing. I like to take the blood of my enemies and make poetry with it, which is why I've been looking for a rival in the arena community, so if anyone wants to volunteer. This hand's a little bit rough. I write film criticism for hire. Tomo here actually hired me to do some film criticism. That's what I really ought to be writing tomorrow. So you can find some of that writing there. I also write fiction. I've been trying to get back into that after a long break. And that's been really gratifying. Short stories, plays, whatever. Might double trade this turn. I don't like what we have. Trade this one first. So we're in a weird position where this would be great and all, but it just gets eaten up by this. So I'm wondering if we can maybe chip this down. That's why I send a charge into it. Did you watch the movie called The Menu? I did watch that movie. You do poems and short stories? I've developed a respect for poetry when I studied it in school. I was an English major. But it's something that doesn't come naturally to me. It's hard for me to parse poetry sometimes, and I don't think I'm an amazing poet. But I really respect people who are. I have an idea. First step of the idea involves this. Second step involves Hawk Strider plus Beaming Sidekick next turn. The cool thing about this line is that they would have to double trade into the 2/7 to kill it. Because 5+1 is not 7. Of course, they probably have something out of hand to help, but... I like learning about writing. I like learning about writing in different disciplines. It's very different across mediums and disciplines. I think translation is interesting. I think the difference between writing a story and a novel and a poem and a play and a screenplay, I think all those things are very interesting. Hiro Makio, thank you for the follow. Glad you're here. Many happy returns. Yeah, so I'll be off tomorrow. Oh, they found a way. And then I'll stream this weekend. So the reason I softened this Frost Rider up last turn was exactly so that we could kill it with a weapon this turn. when you're looking at the board state, chat, you have to be thinking not just about this turn, but about how the opponent is going to want to take care of your stuff the following turn. And I knew that it was likely that this Frost Rider was going to take 2 damage from a value trade, so I wanted to set it up to be killed. As far as the rest of this turn, I don't like what I see. Guess we look for an answer. Heh. Not really what I was looking for. But technically this is an answer. I just don't... Oh man, I meant to... It's okay. Well, now we just have one more weapon charge, which is not a bad thing. Maybe it's even better, actually. Because if we leave the 1/1 up, they value trade there, and oh, this is not what I wanted to see, but... It could be worse. So initially I see Librarian and then soften the other one. I'm trying to figure out if there's a big brain way to do this. Oh, you should have drawn first. Just making that as weak as possible. You know, maybe I should have saved the candle shot charge. Better for cleaning up the 1 health reborns then? I don't know. That's annoying. Yo, we were set to pick up this W, but now look at us. Could try to high roll the 5. Is there a reasonable way back into this game that doesn't involve trying to high roll? How about, what if we... Oh man. You don't want to insta-lose. I just don't want to insta-lose. Very difficult here. Very difficult. Thank you, Marana23. Appreciate it. Hope you have a great time. I thought about shipping this back into the deck. I thought about shipping this away. They can't, copy this unless they make slightly uncomfortable trades. I'm sure they'll figure out a way to do it. They were almost out of stuff, but they had one Malignant left, that's all you need. You're actually gonna trade my 5/5, wow. That's fine. Going face. You're not gonna have corpses. Which is great. Do this, this, and then this. And, equip that. And I don't use it, though. Because it doesn't necessarily help us. Okay! We have a lot of pretty good draws left. Would love to find, like, a Marked Shot Discover. Mastiff would really hit the spot. Get some misses here. That's okay. If it's not hitting our taunt, we're generally happy. Are they trying to figure out a way to get 8 corpses? I don't think they can do that. You think I'm 100% dead? Really? We'll see. You know what else spells 100? 10-0. But yeah, it's not looking good. Yeah, I mean, I really could have leveraged this earlier, but I do feel like it's too late. Translocated Doomsayer. Technically alive. What stops them here? Again, always could be Marked Shot. Etten... Is it too late for Etten to stop lethal? Probably. A very sorry way to end our undefeated streak here. Ooh, however, I don't even know where this is supposed to go. I'm trying to think of what the hunter card is that would do anything in this scenario. Technically, hitting this removes the most damage. I'll just shoot this, I guess? Has to go into cheese. I don't know what the spell is that would save us, but... Explosive... Okay, alright. Oh god damn it. Why does that take so long? So, I'm sure they have lethal, but would they have had it if I had gotten this hit off? 1 damage in there. 4, 7, 3, 5. Yeah, they still have it. Oh, such a valiant effort to go 12-0 and a meta that's so inhospitable to Hunter. I'm proud of us. Even 10-0, I would have thought is beyond the pale. And I think 10-0 is the highest I've gone bossless with Death Knight, even. So that's kind of nuts. I mean, P and Q. Mind your P's and Q's. Yeah. Holben Meter, do you know what you just did? Congratulations first and foremost, but do you know what you just did? You ruined my dreams of 12-0 Hunter in the most inhospitable meta for Hunter. How dare you play the game the best of your ability? And I even had you on the ropes too. I just couldn't handle double Malignant Horror. You had 2 cards left, and I had all the momentum. But you hit us with Malignant, and that was it. Truly a sad story. I think we're both victims of this tragedy. The community is the victim. Jacob Wheels, thank you for the follow. Okay. So the argument for playing Sidekick is you play the 1-drop, you play the 2-drop, and then Merchants of 4 or 5 if they don't clear either of them. The argument against it is you play the 2-drop, you play Vizier, and then you play Merchant with Sidekick. That doesn't really make sense. I want to play it as a 1-drop. You were at 11? It happens, especially when you get into higher win rates. They can't always find somebody to match you up. This is even better for us, I think. Were you 11-0? Did you just go 12-0? I really think if they dial down that one card, it becomes a pretty reasonable meta. Like, if it's hard for a Death Knight to draft that card, I found that post-adjustment, Death Knight is more beatable, and they can run out of stuff now, unlike before. But it's just that card that makes it so punishing. This is kind of unfortunate. I see two options from here. I guess three options. You could Vizier, you could play 2 in 1. Or you could Merchant as a 4/5 and triple trade. Bop, bop, bop. I kinda hate the idea of the triple trade. Maybe Vizier here. They might just trade into the Vizier. It might be enough for them. Ooh, gimme. Hunter versus Mage at this win bracket? That's surprising. I maintain that if you're going to adjust a card, adjust it all the way down to 0. I don't feel that way. There are cards in the meta, a lot of them are legendaries, that are extremely powerful, that I don't mind them being around because you don't see them very often. And it's just something nutty you lose to once in a blue moon. I don't mind that. Buff here and go face. We got a pretty nice board. Like, if Malignant Horror was never offered again, ever, like if they banned it. And they do ban some cards, so that I guess that would be adjusting it to 0. It does happen. If they banned it, I don't think anyone would cry about it, but it would in some way be a shame because I think it's a very interesting card to play with. Because you have to be thoughtful about your corpse management, your resources, how you trade, when you trade. You have to do prep work and... Oh, that's pretty interesting. I think it's an interestingly designed card. It just ruins the meta if you see it every third game. But Marrowgar is an outlier. Marrowgar is an extreme outlier. I think that's one of, like, maybe 2 cards in the new set that I think are legitimately bannable. So, Marrowgar, I would say, is a very cherry-picked example to support what you're saying. I guess we just use the Discover. Venom Strike Trap, fine. Animal Companion, fine. I'm taking the tracking and I'm using it here. I think there's better stuff in the deck that we can find, like... Oxrider Rancher. And I trade with this because they can ping it to death. You're still gonna see it every 3 games at high wins because of the filtering. Yeah, but you know, if you're 10-0, you need to have a deck that can go toe to toe, right? Uh-oh. Did I lose everybody? Order. It's fine. You see everything. I can't see my own stream. You said bye your P's and Q's but didn't mention the F's. Yeah. So next turn this will be tall and it should be able to get through that. I'll even hit that there. I heard a notification. I don't know what it's for. Something happened? Twitch has been on one these past few days. This is like the second out of the last 3 days that Twitch has been funked up. Okay, well that'll be a Holy Nova. Nine cards in hand. Can we do a Prescience? We only have 3 minions that cost that much. Okay. Do I even play this? I'll play it because I think we need as much mana as we can to combo things. So I will go ahead and play it. It seems like y'all are coming out and going in at different paces. So annoying. Ysera? Oh god. Hang on. 2 damage, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're 2 off. This goes face. So hang on, we might just have lethal here. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm just gonna hold before we go into the final boss because I think it would be a shame if people had to miss the final boss. Looks like I can see other people's streams at 160p. I think I'm back? Hello? Which problems? Nothing worked for a while. Yeah, we'll sit here for a minute or two while people figure out that I'm back. Down for 7 minutes. Now fine at 480p. Thanks for the updates, everybody. I'm pretty annoyed because this happened, like 2 days ago, too. Around the same time of day, maybe a little bit earlier. And it sucks for us because we lose a lot of our audience. Well, you know, when servers go down like this, a lot of people click away because of the mess up and then don't come back. So it's always a kind of a bummer. And these sorts of things happen, I understand. But 2 times in 3 days. Yeah. We should get, like, financial payouts for when these things happen. Gotta add a stitch to your YouTube video. Oh, man. Yeah, how is that gonna... Uh-oh. Did I just go down again? No. Yeah, we'll see if my VODs are split or not. Alright, I guess we can jump into our final boss if it seems like we're safe for now. Thanks, Savage Brood, thank you. We were 10-0, I was hoping for the undefeated. I was hoping against hope. Alright, let's queue. Fingers crossed, Twitch. That's a good question, Gary. Has anybody else witnessed a 12-win hunter? I feel like I watched somebody go 12 with a hunter. Maybe Redbeard? What's up, Dark Guru? Yeah, and at 11-1, I don't know if it's taking so long to fight an opponent because there aren't any or because I need to restart. I remember there was a discussion on some stream over whether anyone would have gone 12 with warrior pre-adjustments, and the argument that it was unlikely were quite compelling. Because why would good players pick the class? Oh, there's many reasons. You know, we're not, you know, economists would have you believe that we're all rational maximizers, but that's not true at all. Humans are constantly making decisions that impair themselves on purpose. So I bet some very good players picked warrior because they love the class. I bet some very good players picked warrior as a fuck you to the man, you know? I don't have a playlist command, but this is a soundtrack called Plock for the SNES. You know, I could see people picking warrior because they're determined to go 12 with the worst class, right? As a contrarianism thing. But then if a good player does pick it, they still have to overcome the 30% class win rate. Yeah, that's the tough part, huh? But I have to believe that somebody did it. There can't be that few people who play this game mode. Would you pick a warrior and be determined to go 12? No, but I would pick a hunter and be determined to go 12. And look where that's got me. Despite all odds. I love hunter much more than warrior as a class. Yeah, priest is a common pet class for people to pick even when it's bad. I find that it's more realistic to salvage a hunter than a priest in metas that aren't suited for them. But maybe that's just my playstyle. Let's get you going. I'm terrified of a druid this high up. I think Swarm is gonna be the way to go. The freezing trap might have been nice. All druids had Lingering Zombie on one. I love Lingering Zombie. I think that's a really fun and compelling card to me in my playstyle. But even though I've had decks I thought were good druid decks, they've all gotten like 3 or 4 wins. I don't know, do you mark shot this? Kind of an annoying... You could just Huntress. Messenger into the 1/1? You could do that. You could Messenger into the 1/1. And then maybe set up for a later Devouring play. Aggro Hunter with tempo can always work. Yeah, emphasis on can, but I do believe that. Hard to pick between rats and Conjured Arrow. But I think rats can do a hell of a lot of work. I mean, this kills this, but... Is that really what we want? I guess it is. I don't really see anything else to do. So sad. I don't know about this game. Our opponent seems... It's just scary. Not the best Soul of the Forest, but the fact that they played it then... I don't know. Hard to pick, he says as he picks in 1 second. You don't even want to know how many thoughts went through my head in that 1 second. how many evaluations and schemes and associations. And let's face it, masturbations. I have a very busy brain. I'll try to live up to your expectations, -1. People forget you can always high roll a draft. Yeah, win rates are win rates are statistics. They're not like, they don't determine how your run is gonna go. I think you do this. They're gonna be highly incentivized to trade. I say the same thing about Rotten Tomatoes. A 75% score on Rotten Tomatoes doesn't mean that that the movie you're looking at is 75% good. 99% score doesn't mean it's 99% good, and a 30% doesn't mean it's 30% good. The scores are based on a metric of what percentage of critics thought it was average or above average. So if 99% positive Rotten Tomatoes could mean that 99% of critics thought it was like, yeah, pretty good. And a 50% average could mean that 50% of critics thought it was the best movie they'd ever seen, and 50% thought it was the worst, you see? It's just all tools, and you have to know how to use the tools. No matter how low a win rate is, you can always high roll, is my point. I'm trying hard to see the solution here. I honestly think it's just play and pray. Play and pray. I'm trying to pick my moment with this. Oh, they're looking for something. Oh, they're gonna find something, I know it. Well, that shit could have been worse. It's good, but it could have been worse. Well. Looking at deck, looking at board. Let's start here. Interesting. Two, 4, 6, 8. Here's what I want to do. You might like this. So, we have a lot of dogs now. I thought about sending the 4-5 into the deck. Oh, damn. Okay, Ooh. Librarian. A sentinel of our own. There's reasons to draw. If we flip this, we have 10 health. We would get 2 dogs. You could take 4 power off. They would still have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. They're 1 off, so they're gonna kill us if we send that. So we need to look for silence. Maybe we even... Did we overdraw? Shoot, didn't matter. So are we dead? 4, 1, 5, 6, 1, 4, 5, 6. We're not dead. Not dead. We are dead. We are dead. Alright, try number 2. That's 12 wins. Think we can get it this time? Druid... a druid with a strong start is terrifying. I think we were closer to beating that Death Knight from earlier than we were to beating this druid. We had some fancy plays there, but too much pressure. And a fitting Death Knight. Jacob Wheels called it. This and this can definitely stick around. Alright, fantastic opening hand. I feel better about a fantastic opening hand against Death Knight at this win rate than I feel about a bad opening hand against Druid. So we have that going for us. Let me coin. I would be shocked if they did something remove-y. So we'll be able to get this down into this. This should be active. And then we do this. So now if they don't trade my 2-2 down, we're probably looking at Merchant. If they do, probably looking at Vizier. My discovers have gotten shitty. Give me a snake trap. It's okay because we can play it right now. Am I interested in killing the 3-4? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think the 5-5 is one of the greatest 2s of all time. Except crazy legendary stuff. Kill the 5 or the 3-4. About a 2-2. And then you just sit, let them trade, summon snakes. I think it's good. My general rule of thumb with Incorporeal Corporal is I tend to be happy killing 3 drops. And I tend to avoid killing 2 drops. If it's a 2-4, I probably don't want to kill it, but I'll consider it. But killing a 3-4 generally feels pretty good to me. Not that anyone asked. I guess that's a pretty good mark shot target. But we kind of want to just play the merchant, don't we? I think we do. Three, 4 minimum for you. Getting that out of their hand early, I would consider it to be a victory. It's still strong for them, but... I'll play Mastiff here. I'll play Mastiff here. As far as the biscuit, am I trading it or keeping it? Probably keep it. Yes, we hope it is not a Pyrrhic victory. True words. Isn't Vrykul and Hold the Mastiff fine? How would you do it? Would you Doggy Biscuit a 1-1? Well, that doesn't work. How do you... I guess you just leave the 3-2s up? But then your 6-7 dies. Do you just kill one 3-2 by trading a 1-1 and then a 2-2 in to the other 3-2? And leaving a... Oh, and then you could use the other 1-1 to kill the... Okay, I guess that would work. I guess that would work. Yeah. But I also don't terribly mind using a Mastiff at this point in the game. Okay, I will happily... Hang on a second. 6, 7, 8... 13, 15. We're close. I will happily mark shot this MFer. I'm both into the idea of a lot of buffs really fast and into the idea of more value drawn. Take the Conjured Arrow. I'll even use the Conjured Arrow. I'll even go that far. Hoo, hoo, hoo. That's some value. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Get ready to either celebrate or weep, chat. It's gonna be one or the other. And I need you to join me in that. Celebrate or weep. Error while loading followed channels. Well, that's annoying. I think it is, Gary. I think we... Oh, no. Oh, it comes down to this. Come on, don't bone me. That's great. No, they boned me. Oh, they did bone me. See, reverse psychology, chat. Works every time. Bone is the same damage as the hero power, but it has the additional benefit of protecting this from trades. So I think we take this. It's a bone, but it's a biscuit. I think we take this biscuit opportunity. Silence would be great. Well done, everybody. We just went 12 with an MFN Hunter! Oh, my dream come true. We showed all the doubters. We showed all the people who didn't believe in us. All the people who threw a Molotov cocktail into the Twitch servers just to sabotage our 12-win Hunter run. But the people are strong. We don't respond. We don't respond to terrorism. Thanks for the follow, Sylvia. Appreciate it. Yes, give me all your celebratory follows. I crave them. So if you're new here, chat, when we go 12 wins, we pick an MVP. A card that we felt was pretty high on the list of reasons that we went 12 wins. And then we golden that card. So let's do a little analysis of the deck. Figure out what we think the MVP is. An anonymous gifter gifted 5 subs to Paprika Cayenne, Serpico 1989, Duck Gus, and D Hobus. Enjoy those emotes, everybody, and the status that's conveyed by subscription. Whoever you are out there, know that I really appreciate your donation. That's really great. Well played, thank you, thank you. Tomato, ow, thank you for the follow. Golden Sunwell. Knee boy, thank you as well. Now's not the time to complain about your 11-win Death Knight opponent having a much worse deck than your 5-2 opponent. Way to ruin the mood. Alright, let's take a look. I'll shout out candidates. Candledates. Conjured Arrow has got to be up there. The amount of value that we gained with little slices of tempo is immense. That might even be it. Mastiff is up there too. Incorporeal Corporal is up there as well. So 3 strong candidates right off the bat. Hawkstrider, maybe not an MVP. Maybe if we played it more. But it's quite good. Vizier and Marked Shot. Huge discovers. Some of the Vizier discovers were kind of crappy though. Sentinel really important. Everything performed well, I'd say. Translocation was a bit hit or miss. It got us that statue, the obsidian statue, the one time. Skitterer did alright. I think it's one of these 2-cost cards. Corporal, Mastiff, or Arrow. I tend to err towards the class cards, since pretty much any deck we could decide the golden or corporal. I think for me it's Conjured Arrow. I have discovered more and more. Somebody asked earlier what my formula is for Hunter, and I've discovered more and more that in this meta, for most classes, my formula involves trying to get card draw. Card draw and discovers if possible. Card generation, failing that. Conjured Arrow has the added benefit of being able to remove stuff on the board, and the only downside is you have to wait until turn 6, which is really not a big deal. I think we're gonna go Conjured Arrow. One more. I will probably do a draft, but not a full run. Because I have crested the 6-hour mark on this stream, and... well, you gotta end some point. You gotta end someday. Alright. Conjured... let's conjure a conjured arrow. Missing no. Oh! I didn't realize they had blue hair. That's cool.